According to News Hub from New Zealand, a Brazilian singer Pocah hospitalized with, quote, trapped farts after being ashamed to let one rip in front of her boyfriend.
Now, the question is it just because of a social stigma of her farting in general, or did she literally have something rotten in her insides? Because that really is the question. Like, if you're holding it in because it will set off like a detector for carbon monoxide, like if it's that bad, I can understand. Because I've had some bad farts.
Is that something you could like get medical attention for? Like, I know, and Jack, you'll remember this. My family once had a cat named Jessie, who of all the many cats we've owned over the years, this one was missing an enzyme that caused his poops to stink.
Oh yeah,
like they were absolutely biblical. It was unbelievable.
It was a hazard. It was like toxic waste.
Yeah.
Your cat. I remember I had norovirus because norovirus was going around maybe about 10 years ago, and
back when it was cool to have norovirus.
Yeah, when norovirus was the worst of our problems. Now norovirus is like, oh, thank God it's norovirus. But like I was just getting sick with it because every Friday night we all would always congregate at Acc's house, and like halfway through the night, all of a sudden I started to feel really sick, and there was two parts to this. One, I went in your bathroom and dropped a deuce that was equally toxic to that of Jessie the cat. And it made me, that's what, like, okay, I need to go home because now I think I'm gonna puke because I am ill by my own stench. But then, like, shortly thereafterwards, as I'm gathering my belongings, then Jessie went into the bathroom and used the litter box, and then that stench overcame me. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go outside and just puke in your bush because holy good God, my word, that is like
the last time I puked in a bush. Completely different.
The stench of a cat shit. No, it didn't make you sick there, Mike.
Nope, you just got to power through, man.
Yeah. Well, that's what I remember about Jessie. Jessie didn't live all that long, too. I remember. I think.
With an ass like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm basically wondering if you're a person, say old Pocah has that enzyme missing. Is that something that you can go to a doctor and say, hey,
can I get a poop transplant?
Medical science can do miracles these days. Can you give me a bowel transplant so my shits no longer cause airplanes to fall out of the sky?
I don't know. I don't even know if you can do like bowel transplants. Usually they just will remove it entirely and give you a colostomy bag.
Like airplanes in the night sky, like shooting stars. I could really use a shit right now.
I'm also trying to do some research right now about, I literally just went to Google, missing an enzyme, my farts smell awful.
That's not leaving your search history. That's in there forever.
I did find one that if your systolic stinks, rotten egg gas may be why. But it doesn't really specify anything about like a missing enzyme or anything.
I don't know. I don't want to know why. I want it to stop.
What you should know why before you make it stop. I mean, I
had the best farts last month. I cooked up some kielbasa and sauerkraut.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. I think Sarah was getting the divorce papers ready that night. It was awesome.
Mike, I've known you for a long time, and you have some of the worst farts of anyone I know.
It was hilarious because you could hear the rumbling in my intestines before it got to the end. So it was like an air raid siren before the bombs go off. You hear, and she
gives
like,
everyone
Jesus.
time to vacate.
Yeah, she'd be like, Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you? I'm like,
grab the kids.
Yeah. Oh, it's worse because I love my own stench, so therefore I'm not affected by this.
Mike is disqualified from the air guitar championship because he's capable of bringing his own bass line.
Meghan Trainor style, baby.
Oh yeah.
Here's me.
I find enjoyment in the smell of my own flatulence after I eat beans.
It's true, you know.
Yeah, beans are okay.
Sure.
There's a couple of farts though. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not like the most skilled cook, but I love cooking chili. It's something I just like discovered recently how to do just like the most basic of chili recipes. And, you know, I've been making it pretty regularly now. And every time I make it, experiment with it, make it a little different, but it comes at a cost. Oh, does it come at a cost? Thank God I live alone.
You don't pay with money.
I recall, like, when I first met Kate, I definitely was a little apprehensive about ripping ass in front of her.
And then when did you break the fart barrier?
Probably within like the first 6 months.
Okay. All right. Took a little bit of time, but not like you weren't holding it. You weren't packing it in for years.
Right. It just, I mean, granted, you know, we were both quite young. We were literally teenagers, but it was also just having to tell yourself, like, look, it's natural. It's a human thing. Everybody does it. Just get over it. Because there was definitely one night where, like, I was with her and all I wanted to do was just rip ass. There was one that was just building up and I was doing everything to avoid letting it out because I was genuinely afraid of embarrassing myself in front of her. And then years later, it was, just a thing that we did.
You realized that the embarrassment ship had long sailed.
Yeah, there's other things that she could point at me and laugh about.
So Pocah, is she okay?
So she had to go to the hospital. So here's what the article here says. Vivienne de Quiros Pereira, better known by her stage name Pocah, originally called MC Pocahontas, but she changed her name. She was afraid that when she signed to a major label, she would get heat from Disney. So she just shortened it to Pocah. She revealed to her 15.7 million followers that she'd been too embarrassed to let rip in front of her partner, Ronan Souza, which eventually caused her severe pain in her abdomen. The 27-year-old, who shared a series of videos of herself in the hospital, reassured fans that she's now fine following the ordeal. She said, I woke up at 5:30 a.m. with severe stomach pains and ended up in the hospital, but that's it, guys. I'm now fine. Just an accumulation of trapped farts.
You know, there's a beautiful lesson to be learned here. I don't know what it is, but it's there.
The lesson is fart. Just do it. Just fart. Like Nike style. Just do it. Just let it out. Let it rip. Kate would try to hide. She would try to mask calamity to let it out because she knew, and this is inevitable when you're around me. She knew that if she ever did it, I would never let it go. I would just make fun of her for it forever. So, like, there was one we were walking, both of us were walking down like a set of stairs somewhere, and I lost my footing and I fell down the fucking stairs. And she used the opportunity to just fart.
That's brilliant planning, frankly.
She told me, she's like, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you didn't hurt yourself. But while you were falling down the stairs, I ripped ass. And I'm like, I couldn't hear it over the sound of my own pain.
I'm not even mad. I'm just impressed.
There was one day, we were in my parents' basement because, we had there's a TV down there. She was on the couch watching TV. I'm sitting at the then studio and I had my headphones on. And she thought because I had my headphones on, I was listening to something. So while I'm just sitting there, all of a sudden I hear, and then and I look over and she's just staring at me because now she's looking at me like, did he hear me? Did he hear me? And then I take my headphones down. I'm like, I heard you.
Little did she know you were listening to something. It's a little mixtape you put together called Farts of Kate.
If Kate were here, she would probably say something like, they're adorable.
Ah, they're cute.
The article here from NewsUp continues. Pocah went on to blame a TikTok thread. Here we go. That advised her to ignore the stomach pains, which she said led her to undergoing several tests to determine the source of her discomfort.
I'm not surprised.
At a certain point, you just gotta let it go. Just let it go. It's gonna get worse if you keep it in. It's like brewing coffee, you know. If you keep on brewing it through the beans again and again, it gets stronger and stronger. Like you got to stop at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. I would not take any sort of medical advice from the internet, period, let alone TikTok.
Yeah, I recently watched a very in-depth what do they call it, like a video essay that had to do with very bad advice of non-professionals on TikTok and how it can like absolutely ruin people's lives. So yeah, just don't talk to your doctor or fart liberally.
Just be careful, because sometimes those farts they'll pull a sneaky on you, and next thing you know, you got to change your drawers.
Well, yeah, don't shit your pants. That I felt like that was assumed, Jack.
Don't tell me my business. I'll do what I want. You can poop if you want to. You poop all sorts of time. Your friends don't poop, and then they don't poop. They're no friends of mine.
I'm just thinking about this one time where I think I ripped one in front of Mike, and it was a very concerning one. And Mike just looks at me, just deadpan, all serious on his face, and he just goes, "Did you just shit yourself?" That's like, I can't even think about it nor quote it without laughing.
I mean, sometimes it's just you've got that audio consistency of like, there's no way that the moisture in that fart was just, you know, some humidity. Like there was some liquid that came out there too. Like there's a shit on the back end.
Yeah. And you can, like, if you're sitting, you can definitely position yourself in such a way that you can amplify and change the frequency of your flatulence to make it sound more violent than it actually is. It's like if you're, you know, blowing raspberries into your arm, like you can move all up and down the area of your arm, and it's going to sound different.
I believe it's called making music.
You people are fucked.
This is what happens when you've been stuck inside for 2 years. You start coming up with just ideas. You just get bored, man. It's like now being, we were talking about this during the warm-up segment, now that like things are opening up again and we can go out and be around people. Yeah, being around people. How do you be around people now? Like you can't just, I can't just sit in public and just belch and rip ass, because there's now I got to be considerate of others. Yeah, I can't do that. I want to as much as I want to, and as
much as I want to, I can't add a fart to this conversation right now. I just don't have one brewing for you.
Yeah, I need to keep myself in check too when I start talking to myself, because I don't need other people to know that I'm a bit schizophrenic.
Can I bring up a related tangent?
Sure.
You're familiar with the voice actress Tara Strong?
Of course.
Voice actress of many iconic characters from throughout our childhood and adulthoods. She recently posted on social media a rather angry post that she received her first 1-star rating from the website Cameo, where people can, hire celebrities of all walks of life and ask them to record little personalized messages for them. She received a 1-star rating because someone asked her to fart in her Cameo, and she instead just made a fart joke. And the person left a 1-star review saying she did not do what I asked.
It's funny you bring that up.
I mean, technically, if you ask for farts, can you decline Cameos?
I mean, yes, I'm sure you can. I guess she just assumed they wouldn't be so, to use a turn of phrase, anal about it.
As you did,
and figured, a fart joke would be good enough if they're looking for potty humor. And the guy was apparently, whoever requested it was not amused by that little sidestep.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know why?
Shirk
Because
your duty.
he has got a fetish, and she's still a smoke show. So
Yeah.
I can understand why.
So if I may share my screen with you, so I went on our Twitter account at Focus Hardly and responded to Tara Strong, and she follows us still to this day on our account. And I just simply asked, what is wrong with people? And she acknowledged our existence.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so I just got a bad review on at Book Cameo because I refuse to fart, and folks wonder why some celebs want to be unreachable. And this is what Acc was just talking about. So she shared a screenshot of all of the reviews. First, I still wish a happy birthday in multiple voices and made it adorable, but whatevs. Go fart on yourselves, fart faces. The 1-star review. She didn't really fulfill my request, so I have to come up with a different gift for my friend. Thank you for the effort, but I would have preferred being told you couldn't do it instead of just brushing it off in the video. Here we go. I think this is the actual cameo that she sent.
Hello, Delilah. Your friend Sylvia said you graduated. Congratulations, smart stuff. Now me and you can go ride around together and kick some bat brain booty. What do you say? Well, I think she should just hang out with me and we can read and meditate and do magic or whatever. Want me to give you a little magic since you're already on your way? Azrath Metrion Zintos. Now, as far as the other request goes, I don't fart on videos. In fact, I don't even ever really fart. I just fart flowers. Yeah, and I just, fart magic spells. Congrats.
See, this is a jackass. She just straight up addressed it, and he calls her out in the review. I would prefer being told you couldn't do it. She just straight up said she doesn't do it. This guy sucks.
It's one of those things like, okay, there is technically a chance it is just a person who really wanted a specific joke, but this being the internet, it's a 98% chance it's a fucking fetish thing.
Oh, yeah. And one of you just said it. Tara Strong, easy on the eyes.
Yeah.
People
I mean,
are
considering like voice actors, like, okay, they must look like they need to be a voice actor. She doesn't look like she needs to be a voice actor.
Yeah, that's true of us. That's not necessarily true of everyone who does primarily audio entertainment.
She does cosplay as characters she plays. She was doing Harley Quinn cosplay, and people didn't realize that it was, the most well-known voice of Harley Quinn that they were talking to. This was the actual request that she got. Commend her, then say something as Harley or Raven about farting, and do a real fart when you have one. Oi. Yeah, well, I remember when we interviewed her many years ago, we tried to get her to swear and she wouldn't do it.
Yeah, and we didn't give her a 1-star review.
Right. Yeah. And so
not like good old Maurice LaMarche.
Oh, he wanted to.
He'll swear, he'll fart, he'll do it all.
Same with Billy West too. I recall Billy West didn't want to swear, but Maurice LaMarche was like, "Fuck you guys," just straight up. Yeah, Tara Strong though. I mean, like just knowing that, and knowing that back then she wouldn't drop any profanities for us. I wasn't not entirely surprised that someone comes here and says, "Hey, can you fart on camera for me?" Like, oh yeah, the chances of her saying yes to that pretty slim. Just in my opinion, just my expert PhD holding opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
remember, you can hold your opinions, don't hold in your farts.
There you go, Acc. I'm glad you said that.
The more you know.
The article from News Hub concludes, and again, Pocah is fine. She's, I believe she's been released from the hospital and was told by her doctor, "Just fart, bitch. What's wrong with you?" But the article concludes, holding in gas can lead to a buildup of pressure, which is what causes the discomfort. A buildup of intestinal gas can trigger abdominal distension, which some gas reabsorbed into the circulation and inhaled in your breath. How charming. Holding in flatulence for too long means the buildup of intestinal gas will eventually escape via an uncontrollable fart. The research is not currently clear on whether the rise in pressure in your rectum increases your chance of developing a condition called diverticulitis.
It sounds like something Wilford Brimley would have. I've got diverticulitis.
Hey, I've heard that.
Not at all.
Look, as much as I want to joke about that, that's actually what killed Glenn Frey from the Eagles.
Really?
He had diverticulitis, and I think it might have been a complication following surgery for it, but it was ultimately what led to his untimely passing. Eddie Van Halen had it too. In 2013, the guy was just he had like every friggin' medical condition in the book at that point, but just one more thing to add to the list. So, diverticulitis, yes, hilarious to say, not actually hilarious.
Has could be said of most medical conditions, I assume.
The article concludes here. On average, people break wind 14 times a day. So if someone swears to you that they don't fart, they're lying. Yeah.
I mean, I could be bringing the average up for them.